Hey all. I know it's a little premature since we haven't actually killed Mythic Broodtwister yet, but since we've just about reached the final burn on our best attempts, I think I've seen enough to break down the way that I heal this fight. Different from my ranged Rising Mist build, on Broodtwister I like to run a lightning build with Jadefire Teachings, Jade Empowerment, and Tear of Mourning instead of Rising Mist. As usual, I start with Mana Tea at 6 seconds left on the pull timer. That way I go in with close to 20 seconds of the buff. A little Cocoon on the tank starts me off just to soften the first explosion, and I make sure to use Thunder Focus Tea right after the pull for 1 stack of Jade Empowerment. That way it'll come up just in time for 2 stacks going into the first set of egg adds. Going into the first container breach, I start to ramp with Yu'lon. For the second to last tick of Ingest, I'll hit Celestial Conduit, and once the final tick applies, I'll hit Revival, which I like to save for the end of each container breach. This way I've cleared a lot of the healing negation going into the first set of eggs. Now this is where I try to maximize my healing through Jade Lightning. I do any last minute prep I can manage and make sure to hit Thunder Focus Tea at 4 or 5 seconds left on the egg hatch. On this pull, I was a little distracted getting picked for eggs, and you'll notice the 2-second delay on hitting Thunder Focus Tea when it comes back actually messes with my timing a bit for the rest of the section, but it still works out. Next, I'll hit Shaloon's Gift for a buff, followed by 2 back-to-back casts of Lightning for what looks like around 40 million healing, which gets distributed to injured players. For me, this was the main draw of running this build on Broodtwister. It's a surge of effective, smart healing targeted at the most chaotic parts of the fight. From here, I'll spot heal while keeping an eye on Thunder Focus Tea. When it comes off cooldown, I hit it immediately so that it'll be up again for 2 charges of Jade Empowerment when I need it. This also works nicely because it coincides with a few seconds of downtime and usually happens when I'm at 20 stacks of Mana Tea, so I can spend that time regenning. As the next set of egg debuffs go out, I'll invoke Yu'lon and start ramping on a few of those targets, and when the debuffs expire, I'll hit Shaloon's Gift for another buff, and with Thunder Focus Tea coming back up, again I've got 2 casts of lightning ready to fire. I'm still a couple seconds later than usual because of the earlier delay, so it's not obvious, but normally 1 cast of lightning tends to top us all off here, so I'll delay the second cast for just a moment until Volatile Concoction expires. That way it tops us off from that as well. Now, getting back to 2 charges of Jade Empowerment after this, in time for the next set of adds, is a little tricky. I'll use my Thunder Focus Tea just after Volatile Concoction goes off. That way I can cover the damage with Celestial Conduit, and benefit from the cooldown reduction from Heart of the Jade Serpent. After that, just like both times before, I hit Shaloon for a buff, and once Thunder Focus Tea comes back, I fire off 2 lightnings to get us topped off. Then it's just spot healing until the second container breach. So the second container breach starts at the same time that Volatile Concoction goes off, meaning there's a little more to heal. All I do here is ramp with Yu'lon, followed by Revival right after the last tick of Ingest, just like before. Around this time, I'm up to 8 clouds for Shaloon's Gift, which I like to use just before the eggs hatch. Thunder Focus Tea comes off cooldown in time for another double lightning. I like to follow this up with Celestial Conduit as we shift into position for the next eggs. Not because the healing is 100% necessary, but it's so that I'll have it up again in time for the third container breach. With 3 Colossal Spiders, tank health can get a little spiky here, so I'm ready to cocoon whichever tank gets close to dying towards the end of this set. I use Yu'lon to ramp on the second set of egg debuffs, after which I'll pick up another buff with Shaloon's Gift and fire off 2 casts of Empowered Lightning again. Since I used Celestial Conduit earlier in this section, I'm only able to get 1 stack of Jade Empowerment going into the last set of eggs. But it still does the healing it needs to, so I'm okay with that. Things are a little chaotic with the Colossal Spiders again, but it's mostly spot healing up until the next breach. I handle the 3rd container breach just like I did before, ramping with Yu'lon and finishing with Revival as the last tick of ingest applies. My mistake here is hitting Celestial Conduit before Revival, where I should have done it a couple seconds earlier or saved it for the big overlap of Egg Breaks and the blow up from Volatile Concoction. In my defense, we've only made it this far in a few pulls, so I'm still figuring out my cooldown placement. At this point we've got dead people, we've missed some eggs, so this is already going off the rails pretty fast. But just like before, I fire off 2 casts of lightning to top us off. Going into the 2nd set of eggs, I'm ready with Yu'lon for the pre-ramp and a 2nd stack of Jade Empowerment just in time for the follow-up. Obviously, we're a little beyond saving at this point, but I think I've made it clear what patterns I follow and why I hit my cooldowns when I do. Depending on how low he is at this point, with everyone alive and the final eggs done right, I'm expecting to throw anything I've got left at healing through the final set. And with Celestial Conduit coming back, Yu'lon less than a minute away, and another long drink of Mana Tea ready to go, I'm feeling pretty good about the final stretch. And that's how I heal Mythic Broodtwister. It might not be a popular build for this fight, and it's not a build I play on many encounters anymore, but overall I'm pretty happy with how it works out. If you found my explanation useful or interesting, let me know, and I'll try and do something similar, and earlier, for the Liberation of Undermine in Season 2. Holidays and end-of-season fatigue are slowing things down a bit, but I'm trying to put out videos when I've got time and when there's something new to post. Until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.